Thank you for joining me for SWOT analysis of Malinda L. Beckham. I am your host for this evening. I am indeed Malinda L. Beckham, and I will be presenting SWOT analysis as it applies to me as an individual approached as an organization. So a little bit about me. Who is Malinda L. Beckham? Well, I am first and foremost a wife and mother. I am also a student at UHD who will be graduating this fall. I am a full-time employee, and what a lot of people don't know about me is that I actually suffer from dry eye. No, just kidding. That's Jennifer Aniston. I am an actress and a director in the theater, and my husband and I have our own theater company. And a fun fact about that is, although it's very easy for me to prepare and go on stage and present to an audience, public speaking or a presentation such as this gives me great fear. So what we have here is a complete SWOT analysis, taking a look at the strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we will give a deeper dive into each section of the pie. The first section that we talk about is the strengths. The strengths are what I consider what I do well. I am creative in my approach to my work as well as to theater endeavors, and this allows me to stay interested in my work and to keep my work fun for me, which is a benefit for my employer, because if I keep it interesting to myself, then I have better results for everyone. I am securities licensed. That means I have a Series 6, 63, and 26 licensed. I am a supervising registered principal. I manage and audit individuals that have a limited securities license and sell variable products. This is a strength to me. Because fewer than 5% of the employees in my industry that are in the same organization that I am in have these licenses, which are critical to being able to hold the position that I have. I have great time management skills that allows me to plan well, make great use of my time, which leads me into my next strength, which is I work well unsupervised because of this. And can be relied upon not only to meet tight deadlines, but to turn in quality work on those deadlines. My weaknesses, however, are things that I can improve upon. Delegating is a struggle to me mainly because I tend to be a perfectionist, but I am learning to deal with this through having an effective follow-up process for me to check on the work as it goes through the process, and that way I feel I can relinquish a little bit more control of that to someone else if I know where it is in the cycle, when it will be completed, and that as it's working its way through the process, it's good quality work. Organizing can be a challenge to me if my work becomes too high-paced, which it tends to do at the end of a sales quarter. The best way for me to combat this is to be aware that I do tend to become disorganized and to use the resources that are available to me, such as my calendar and tasking, and not only keeping a list of my tasks, but organizing and prioritizing the tasks themselves. Interrupting is a listening skill I certainly need to improve upon. I tend to interrupt not because I think what I have to say is more important than what the speaker is saying, but because I fear that I will lose my train of thought or not bring up that point later on when it's my turn to speak. I'm learning to deal with this by taking very brief notes during the speaker's turn if there are things that I want to say when it's actually my turn. Doing instead of showing is also a weakness of me. I think that comes back to the time management. In order to most effectively manage my time, sometimes it's easier and quicker for me to do something myself than to show someone else how to do it. Again, the key to overcoming this weakness is to be aware of it and to draw people into my knowledge cycle and to help them gain the same knowledge that I have so that they can become more efficient at what they do. The opportunities that I have currently, definitely I need to capitalize on the opportunity to take more technology classes in order to keep my technology and computer skills sharp. This is extremely important as the workforce, becomes younger, and the millennials come to the workforce highly skilled in this area. Online marketing is an opportunity for me on two fronts. It's three fronts, actually. An opportunity for me personally, professionally, and in my theater life. Employers these days, a lot of times, will do research, and they will look at your online identity to see what it is that you identify with, how you present yourself. And this would be a great opportunity for me that I don't currently use very well. I could get a Series 7 license, which is the same license that stockbrokers take. This would definitely elevate my marketability, both as a worker at my current position and as a candidate in other industries, such as banking and financial industry. Although related to insurance are separate, but those would be additional opportunities to me if I were Series 7 licensed. The biggest threat that I currently face, the one thing I consider could harm me the most, in general, is not the particular individuals, but the fact that the workforce is rapidly expanding with millennials and a younger workforce. And they are my competition, so that I have to keep pace with them in not only my particular job, but in my industry and in the workforce at large. Technology is constantly changing, and keeping up with that technology can be a challenge. Just to highlight that, how it's a threat to me is I had to have my daughter show me how to set up a YouTube account. But, you know, the benefit in that is that I now have a YouTube account and I know how to use it. So keeping pace on technology technology can be a threat. Regulations in my industry are outside of my control, but change the way I work on a daily basis and sometimes immediately. Changing regulation has to be responded to. It's not optional. So you have to be flexible enough and pliable enough to make those changes overnight. Trying to complete my pie is, for me, a lot like Trivial Pursuit, and moving my piece along the board and collecting the different colored pieces of pie to make sure that my pie is complete. And it's hard sometimes to think of our weaknesses and our threats as being complete pieces of the pie, but we have to be aware of these things. It's the only way that we can correct our weaknesses and our threats and use those to become stronger and to capitalize more on our strengths and our opportunities. So if I can keep pace with technology and the social abilities of the younger workforce, I know that the current strengths that I have will continue to grow, my career will continue to flourish and to advance. But if I fail to address my weaknesses and capitalize on these opportunities, my threats will overcome my strengths and I will lose ground in the workplace. And I really don't want that to happen, as I truly have about 20 years to give to the workforce, and I want to make the most of that as possible. And which is the number one reason why I'm in college today. With experience and education on my side, I'm hoping to keep up with the younger guns. Thank you.